Welcome to PEI, or Prince Edward Island. It's Canada's smallest province and the land of mussels and potatoes. We're going to tour a mini mill, see some gorgeous beaches, eat some seafood, and as always, have lots of fun. This is PEI. As far as I know, there are two ways to get your car onto Prince Edward Island. One is to take the ferry from Nova Scotia, and since we had just come off a spectacular ferry from Newfoundland, we thought we would do something a little different. So the other way is to cross the bridge from New Brunswick. Maybe the one thing I knew about Prince Edward Island going in is that they are known for seafood, specifically mussels. We started out with some delicious curry mussels. Curry and mussels, I didn't know how it was going to be, but they were delicious.
What time is it?
Showtime!
I don't think we can use that. So stop one is done. We had some seafood. We fixed our air conditioner. That's not in this vlog, but it was a whole thing. Maybe fixed it. Now our next stop is...
Coffee?
And...
Ice cream.
And...
A brewery?
All of our favorite things in the same place.
While I recorded a podcast in the van, Kent went into this ice cream place, so I'm gonna have him tell you about it.
One thing Cal's Creamy does really well is produce funny merch. Somehow, though, I was able to get through without buying anything. But after making my way through the gift shop, I found myself on a self-guided tour. I was there on a weekend, so they weren't making any ice cream that day, but you could at least see where they did. They also had a bunch of cheese in the back. See, this is all cheese. And then I waited for a long time to get my picture with this cow, so I asked somebody, and he said, "Wait, someone walked in front of you." So then I went and look. Nice. Finally, it was time for me to get some ice cream. So many yummy flavors. I ended up getting Gooey Mooey because it made me laugh. I did the cool influencer thing, whoa, how did that camera get there? And then I ate all my ice cream.
I met back up with Kent, got some coffee and this treat. And then we went to a street called... After a lovely walk, we went to Richard's to try a lobster burger. We got the lobster burger, which is essentially, I think, just a bun with lobster on it and lots of butter. So kind of similar to what we got earlier with some fries.
So it's our first night in PEI, and we found somewhere pretty cool to stay.
I think over here is where we can sleep tonight, and then just behind us is the movie.
That's right, not only are we going to a drive-in movie, we get to sleep at the movies. The next morning, we headed to our first Yarny stop, Fleece Harmony.
Hi, Natalie. I'm Kim, and I'm the owner of Fleece Harmony Woollen Mill and Yarn Shop in Belfast, Prince Edward Island.
And I'm so excited because we're going to see the mill today. Do you want to start over there?
Sure.
Okay, let's go.
So this is where it all starts. Okay. This is what we pick up our wool from the farms. So this
is massive.
Yeah. So this is it's actually a feed bag, but the farmers put their wool as soon as it's being shorn. They're putting them in these bags like this. So this is the raw wool from the sheep farm itself.
Oh my gosh.
Most of the farmers here on Prince Edward Island have a breed of sheep called Rideau Arcot, which is a Canadian-made breed. It was developed in around 1986, I think, and it's mostly the breed is used for lamb production, but lucky us, it has these beautiful, crimpy, lustrous fiber that's super soft.
It's very soft, like before anything has been done to it.
Exactly.
Yeah, it's really nice.
Yep. So that's what we do. We get about 4,000 to 6,000 pounds of this every year, and we mill that through and make our yarn from that.
Do you know how many pounds are in like one bag? A lot.
I think it's about 250 to 350 pounds.
Holy
just
cow.
Depends on how much they packed in it.
Sure.
And we use this. This is actually an old door frame from our house. So this is our high-tech skirting table, and this is where we take it out and we take out any of the vegetation that we can. If there's any like guard hairs or anything like that in the wool, we kind of do a first kind of grading of the wool here, and then we put it in these baskets like this, and we weigh about 6 pounds at a time, and then we go over here to the wet room, and this is where we wash it. So after we've sorted the wool, we bring it in here, and we use two things to wash the wool. So our wool has quite a lot of lanolin in it, so it can actually weigh about 30 to 40% of the weight of the wool could be lanolin. So you need water that is over 160 degrees Celsius to melt lanolin. So we actually use our dye vat to heat up the water, and we put the raw wool in there with some pH balanced scour that we use, and we let it soak in here, and we use really high-tech equipment to make sure that it gets plunged down, and so it goes through that process. And then after this we're dyeing yarn right now, but we use this basket.
So cool.
Yeah. So that's the last step. So the first and mostly the sort of the first step and the last step are all here. This is a washer, which is also we can use to wash the fiber, but the water comes directly from the hot water tank, so it's not quite hot enough to really clean the lanolin out of the wool. So we use this for rinsing. And if we do get a batch of special fibers like alpaca or something like that don't have lanolin, then we can wash it in there. Wow. And it's segmented, so it's very gentle, so the agitation doesn't felt. There's no agitation released to felt the fiber.
Wow, that's amazing.
After it's washed, it comes over to the drying racks. And so this is, sometimes we can wash it once, sometimes we might have to wash it twice. That's up to when they're processing it. If they feel that it needs to be washed again, we can do a second. So this is the wool after it's been washed the first time. So this one is slightly different color than, I actually think this is mohair. So this is not the wool that I just showed you. Yeah, really curly. So we only spin wool and mohair here. So the mohair we can't get on Prince Edward Island. It's the only fiber we use that we can't get enough of here. And we buy that from a farm in Ontario. Cool. So that still comes from the farm.
That's awesome.
It takes we always dry overnight. So the next morning we can come in, and this is how it looks in these baskets. We have, then we put it on this machine, which is called the picker.
Okay.
And this blows into this room.
Oh.
So this is what happens.
Very fluffy.
Very fluffy. We use a conditioner. So we take off the lanolin in the washing process, but we put in a conditioner so that it makes the spinning, there's less static and so forth for the spinning, and that's done there in that room.
Interesting.
Then the fiber comes over here. And so this is what it looks like when it goes on the fiber separator. So because we're getting wool directly from the farms, there's a lot of vegetation, and our scouring process is very gentle, so it doesn't dissolve the vegetation like you would in a big commercial mill. So we have to separate it physically.
Yes, okay.
So it goes through this machine, and I'll turn this on and you can see. So it has several drums, and then it comes out this side looks like this when it ends.
Oh, much fluffier.
Yeah, still has a little bit of vegetation.
Yeah, but not quite as much.
So you can see it's starting. So you see the little bit of mohair there. So this must be a batch of sock. Yeah. So we use, okay. So when it comes out of that machine, this is what it looks like.
Looks like a cloud.
Yes.
Oh my goodness.
So you can see, when we sell our yarn, we always say you're guaranteed to get just a little bit of hay in it. So there's like a little bit of seed still in it, but as we go through the process, it becomes less and less. But honestly, our yarn has little flecks of vegetation in it sometimes. So this is the carder. I think there's 7 different rollers that goes around, and it gradually starts to, just like you would if you were hand carding. So it's just starting to straighten out the fibers. So the Belfast mini mill equipment, the finished yarn is what they call a semi-worsted. So it is not a worsted spun or a woolen spun. It's somewhere in between, and it's because of these different these carding and combing processes. So what's coming out this end of the carder is the slivers that you have. So what we do when we're making a batch of yarn, we make 8 large cans like this, and then we combine 2 streams of fiber on the draw frame, which is the next step. And in this machine, this actually creates a bit of draft here. So we're starting the drafting process before we go to spinning. So we always are mixing 2 streams of fiber together, and it goes through a second time so that you have consistency in the batch that you're making. So unfortunately, we don't have anything ready at the spinner, but this is a 12 spindle spinner. And the way that works is the slivers go to the back. They thread through this machine, and then you have the spindles here like this. And I'll just turn this on so you can see how it works. Sure. It's spinning at about 2,700 revolutions a minute. Wow. And so the thread, the roving comes through here and goes onto the bobbin like that. And then we can make a 2-ply or a 3-ply or a 4-ply, as many. We use a plier, which is the next machine, and it's set up exactly like the spinner, but it rotates in the opposite direction.
Yes, okay.
So to make the plies.
Cool.
And so that's this little machine here. And then after that, there's a bobbin that has just been finished. This is a 2-ply worsted weight. So this is the yarn that we have. This is our most common yarn, is the 2-ply. We make a 3-ply sock yarn. We make a 2-ply lace weight, and we have a 3-ply Aran weight as well that we make as regular things, and then do other special batches as well. And after it's plied, it comes over here, and we put it on cones. So after it's on the cones, then we come here, and this is the skein winder.
Oh, yes.
Yeah. So we just to reset this. So it has this is 1.5 yards, and this is a 2 yard.
I see they're spaced out more on this
yes,
side.
Yes, exactly. So this is what we do most of the yarns, but with fingering weight and lace weight, we sometimes use this one just to give the smaller skeins. The wool that's ready to go to the dye vat.
Okay.
So we soak this just to get out some of the spinning oil and everything, and to open up the fibers, and
plumps
then
up, right?
Plumps up. Yeah. And do you want to go back to the dye vat?
Sure.
Okay.
Great.
If we're leaving it natural, you can. I have a steamer that you can steam to set the twist, but because we're dyeing most of the yarns, then we soak it first. So after it's all been made into skeins, we soak it in a big pot like this in super hot water. And then we use the dye vats, the dye vat to do the dyeing. That's cool. So we use greener shade dyes, which are a heavy metal-free dye, and they're made by a mini mill owner in the U.S. Actually, I think they're in Connecticut. I always get it mixed up.
Yeah, don't worry, it's okay.
Yeah, and so with those dyes, they're heavy metal-free, but they only make 9 colors. We have about 100 colors in our catalog, so all of our shades are hand blended. So this is Selkirk worsted. So all our yarns are actually named after places around the mill. Cool. So Selkirk was the one of the first settlers to settle Prince Edward Island, and Selkirk is a big name around here. We have Selkirk Road. So this is the Selkirk worsted. And this is our most popular yarn. It's a 2-ply light worsted. So we have a lot of colors. So it's all of this and all the way back to the rest of the.
Oh my goodness!
So it's like I said, there's about 100 different colors, and people tend to be a little bit surprised because, as you saw, that it's farm wool. But this is how it knits up. So we have all of these sweaters except for this one are Selkirk worsted. This is a sock and Kid Silk Haze combo. But it's the one I like to knit with the most.
Yeah, it's lovely. I love a 2-ply.
It's a nice weight on 3.75 needle, so it kind of goes a little bit fast, and it's really, really nice. But we also have Aran, which is a 3-ply yarn. So
walk over and see.
Yeah, so definitely thicker. And we do the same colors on all of the bases except for the specialty bases. So you can get any color that you like. Under the window, we have a 3-ply sock yarn. And this is 400 yards. And 100 grams, and this contains 20% mohair. So we don't use any nylon in our sock yarn. We strengthen it with the mohair, and this is what we saw being made on the machines in the back.
That is so cool.
Yeah,
this color bramble.
Yeah,
hues of berries to get you through until picking season.
Yeah, that's so cool. I love that. Yeah, we have little stories on all the colors.
Oh, I love it.
Yes. So, and we do little like kits as well, like
that's
this
nice.
jewel tool and kits with the sock yarn. So, and then we have. I'll show you one of our special flock specific yarns that we make.
Oh, okay. Just keep pushing him out of the way.
Yeah. Okay, that way. So this is a fingering weight yarn that we love because it's called Wild Winds Fingering, but it comes from a single farm, and the farm is called Wild Winds Pasture, and the sheep live outside all year round. Oh. So I say that they live in a forest cathedral because the farmer has these luscious hedgerows with a lot of spruce trees and things like that. And he's carved out all of the underbrush, and the sheep actually live there in the forest.
Wow.
And when we process this wool, you actually can smell the pine and the spruce, and you can't smell it anymore in the wool itself. But we love it when we're processing that that wool.
That's gorgeous.
And again, hand dyed. There's a smaller selection of colors with this one. And then we do a lace weight, and then we do other special, if we get fiber alpaca, there's a couple alpaca farms on the island. So if we get alpaca, we do some blends with that. And that's about it with what we do. So.
That's so cool. Thank you for taking us around today. This has been wonderful.
Oh, wow. It's my pleasure.
Now, something really cool happened when we were driving to Fleece Harmony, and that is that we learned that Belfast mini mills are actually made right here. And since Kim operates a mini mill from Belfast, she was actually able to connect us with the current owners, and we drove straight from Fleece Harmony over to Belfast to check them out. Now we'll get to know a couple of the guys that help make the mini mills that make our yarn.
Okay, why don't we start with what you do here?
Yeah, so my role? Yeah, so I run the assembly shop, and I mean, we have lots of specialists that work with us. Like, we have an amazing crew of like mechanical engineers, mechatronics. But my role here essentially is just facilitating and organizing. I'm one of the owners, so quality checking the machines, but I get in there and I'm making the machines as well.
Wow.
I am one of two international support technicians, they call me. So I travel the globe installing equipment and training, servicing, and offering any support that you may need with our equipment.
You're like overseeing all of everything being made, basically, right?
Yeah, and just for the assembly shop, because we have my brother and my cousin and myself are the three owners. And so there's a little bit of separation in the process. So my cousin, he runs the fabrication shop in Murray River. So the machines will come over here, and then they're sandblasted and painted, powder coated. And then they come into this beautiful new shop we have where we assemble them.
Okay, got it. So what does that look like? Like somebody orders a mill and it goes out to them, and then you show up?
So yeah, we build everything here on site. It gets put into a sea can if it's shipping anywhere else outside of North America. If it's staying in North America, we just hire a local logistics company. it transports, and then I arrive on site when it's there, and then I set up and train. I spend about 9 days in total at each location.
Wow. You know, something I feel like we should talk about is, what is a mini mill? Like, how do you define that?
Yeah, so a mini mill just takes up less space. It's basically a step down from industrial. You know, if you have this idea in your head of a huge building, just floor to ceiling machines, it's not that. These are for the smaller scale user to be able to produce locally, or maybe even their own fiber.
Do you kind of help people plan like the floor plan of the...
Yeah, so we do it all. We'll send you floor plans. We'll spend time on the phone, virtual calls, giving you the requirements for your building, the best layout. Usually, even though we give all that information, once we get there on site, things kind of move around after a while. We put it in one spot, and then maybe when we come back, it was better somewhere else. So but yeah, we offer as much support as you can.
I feel like we got to get into the history of things, like why mini mills? How did things get started? You said with your grandparents, I think.
Yes, that's a long story, so not to monologue again, but Belfast mini mills really began with my grandfather, Larry, and my grandmother, Sheila. They owned Mountain Loom Company, so they would make handmade wooden looms with all, where you put the shuttle across and you have thousands of strings, and you know that's how you weave, right? One string at a time, put the color back through. As time went along, my uncle, Clive Sutherland, got involved, and my father, and they modernized the equipment. So they brought it into the new era, right? So
were your grandparents also producing their own fiber? Were they doing the milling process?
They were very capable, and they were doing kind of everything. They were even, my grandfather even had his own wood mill, so he was actually making the wood that he was then making into the loom.
Wow.
And of course they had their own sheep, and they really did everything all the way through. Yeah, I don't know how they were so capable. Yeah, but eventually, once we had the first set of blue machines, the classic blue color of our machines, that was the first mini mill, and that was around 30 years ago.
Okay. That was my next question. So that's
I
great.
think it was around 30 years ago.
Wow.
So I was just, I was a little kid running around at that point. Yeah.
So what are some of the places that you get to travel to?
Most frequently is Norway, but Australia, New Zealand, hopefully in the next couple of weeks, I'll be going to Argentina, into the Patagonia region. We have quite a few mills down there, but there is a new one that was shipped recently. Most recently was Kuwait and Iceland. So pretty much all over the planet. We're in well over 40 countries with, I could only guess to be over 400 installations.
Wow. Did you kind of grow up like around the process of it? Like what made you personally like want to come in and be a part of it?
Well, I did the classic grow up, move away, come back.
Yeah.
So I went out to Ottawa, and I did stonemasonry there for 10 years. And then and at that point I wanted to come back because I wanted something different. My life was in flux. But I think it was the draw to like do something unique. It was, it's just, it's something, there is just like a kind of a uniqueness and a speciality. It's a very niche market, making these specialized equipment. And, I think I kind of wanted that. And it is fun, there is like, I think that element of having the control to like make a new machine, if there's a machine that is not out there yet, we can make that.
Yeah.
And that's what we're trying to do. So I think that's what drew me back.
It's about 2 years of training, learning the machines and all that.
Wow.
And then you get started off in the US. So I did a lot of servicing in the United States and just basic servicing work. And then they threw me into the mix of installing mills. My first one was Finland, and that was 2014.
That is so cool.
There's lots of change happening right now. So it's a really fun time to be working on these sets of machines.
Can you tell us anything about what's coming up?
Yeah, we can. Well, one of the new things is a huge leap in our motors. So we went to something called 3-phase motors.
Okay.
And without getting too technical with it, we basically upgraded all of our electrical. So our machines are smarter now. They can talk to each other. And we can also do service internationally. So, you can be in New Zealand and we can log in and see exactly how much your carter is producing.
Wow.
Yeah.
You must be super familiar with all of the machines.
Very much so, yes.
Yeah. The ins and outs and all of that.
The operation, mechanically, the electronics are getting a bit more technical now, so I'm a bit rusty on the electrical, but that's why we have our engineers to do that. But with the processing of every fleece out there, I could probably make you a yarn with it.
So where are we now?
This is the new and improved assembly shop. Previously, we worked up in the other building where you would have first met us, but it was too small, and this used to be our full production mill. But as the company downsized and Matthew and Evan took over, we closed our mill that ran for well over 20 years. And having Fleece and Harmony down the road, it gave them the ability to get more customer base, and we completely renovated this. And actually, we've only been in here for a couple of months, if that, I think.
Wow.
But yeah, it's the new assembly shop, which gives us much more room. So this is the 8-spindle spinner. Most recently, we have completely redesigned our electrical. Prior, it was single-phase DC controlled motors, but now this is still single-phase, but we use a 3-phase system. So this is the first full mill with the new design.
Wow.
But this is the machine that you would take your product that would be, we refer to it as a roving, but some will refer to it as a top, which most will hand spin from. But you take your roving or top and you spin your singles. So you can spin, all ranges of yarn, your lace weights, your fingerings, your DK, your Aran, your worsted, your chunky, your bulky. And then this spins it into the single strand. This could be converted into a dual purpose machine where you would do the plying as well. But our standard configuration, you have an 8-spindle, and over here would be your 4-spindle plier.
Oh, okay,
so this machine over here would be, to the left of me, would be the 4-spindle spinner plier. It will actually also spin a single strand, but it's mainly used for the plying. So you do your 2, your 3, or your 4 ply yarns here.
This is really cool because we just got to see it in action.
Yes.
So being able to see it being assembled is I don't know, it's really neat because you don't always think about the yarn making process has so many steps.
Yes.
But even before you get to that, the machine has to be made.
So it's great having Fleece and Harmony down the road because we have them as a showcase, and then people come here like yourself and see how it's actually made.
Yeah.
But yeah, like you said, there is many steps. There's actually 14 steps to get from raw fleece to finished yarn.
Okay.
So it needs to be, that's not including the shearing or the skirting.
Right.
So you gotta tumble it, wash it, pick it. You have to go through the fiber separator, then it's gotta go through the carder, then it's gotta go through the 8-spindle. We make a 4, an 8, or a 12. Then it's got to go to the plier. Then it's got to be cone wound. Then it's got to be steamed back onto the cone winder. And then it's balls, skeins, or leaving it on a cone.
And you guys make machines to do every step?
Every single step we make to manufacture.
Wow.
Right here, yes.
Now it's time for some more sightseeing. We're going to do a little hiking. We're going to see some water. And we have one more yarny thing coming up. First, we're headed to Point Prim Lighthouse, which is the first and oldest lighthouse on Prince Edward Island. It was built in 1845, but it became automated in 1969. But as you can see, it is still standing and looking great. After learning about all the many lighthouse keepers and the grueling work it was to keep the lighthouse going, we actually got to climb up into the top of the lighthouse, which was pretty hard, but what was even harder was coming back down. I mean, I think my legs were actually sore the next day. And to our great delight, they have a working foghorn, so maybe turn your volume down if loud noises are not your thing. After working up an appetite at the lighthouse, we came to Copper Bottom Brewing to get some more oysters and a little bit of work done. Last up for the day is a super cool hike in Prince Edward Island National Park. So the trail guide said there was going to be a floating boardwalk, and honestly, we just kind of expected like a little bit that would be on top of water. That is not what it was. I don't know if you can really even tell like this how long this is on camera, but this is like a plastic floating boardwalk. It doesn't really move that much when you walk, but you can definitely tell that you're on top of water, and it went on for so long. It was super, super cool, and it ended in a sand dune. The next morning, we had a little bit of a drive before our next destination. We made a quick stop at a lighthouse, and then we went somewhere pretty special.
Potatoes.
Oh yes, we are at the Canadian Potato Museum. Prince Edward Island is not just known for mussels, they are also known for their potatoes. Apparently, the rich red soil is really great for growing potatoes. We started off in the restaurant where you can get all things potatoes. You may need to start a counter for how many times they say potatoes in this. They have French fries, potato soup, and even grilled cheese with potato bread. And we were so happy to see that they had their seaweed pie available. It's an angel food cake base with a layer of Irish moss filling, and you can get a topping of either strawberry or blueberry fruit sauce. It didn't taste like moss or anything like that. It honestly just tasted like a sweet cake. This museum is actually really fun, so if you ever are in PEI and you happen to be near it, definitely go. Something that had us cracking up the most was all these potatoes in these tiny little coffins, and then the signs behind them explained all the different diseases that potatoes can get, or different bugs and different things that can affect potatoes. Our next Yarny stop is MacAuslands Woollen Mill. What's really fun about this place is you can go in and do a self-guided tour. Now, they are probably most known for their blankets, so a lot of the yarns they're spinning, they will sell as yarns, but then many, many more of them will get made into these beautiful blankets. The people here were super, super nice. We asked if we could film and share our things, and they said, definitely, we want you to do that. So we just kept walking around the mill, and then we would go to the next room, and somebody would say, keep on going, there's more stuff back there. So we got all the way into where they're dyeing things, where they're weaving the blankets and using the different machines. It was absolutely incredible. Our next stop is the Anne of Green Gables Museum. I know some of you are going to be like screaming at your screen when I'm getting things wrong here, so I apologize in advance, but I haven't read the book yet. I haven't seen any of the shows or movies, but I am planning to. I'm actually getting an Anne of Green Gables yarn advent in December, so I'm going to be fully brushed up here really soon, but let me tell you what I do know. Anne of Green Gables is a 1908 novel by Lucy Maud Montgomery, and this whole museum is about the main character essentially, and I guess the setting of Anne of Green Gables, but the author actually grew up nearby. So this whole setting, even though it looks like a historical house and probably has a lot of historical items in it, is actually based on fiction. Okay, I'll have to come back and look at all of this again later once I've read the book. On our last night in PEI, we decided to do something kind of fun and get a lobster supper. So a lobster supper is basically a fixed price meal where you get your appetizer, then you get your entree, you get a bunch of sides, and a dessert. You can get a lobster if you want, or like me, I decided to get scallops. What's not to love about a meal that ends with dessert and coffee? And we're closing out our time with one last yarn store. This is Knitpicker's Studio and Yarn Shop in Mayfield, PEI. Owner Margaret has this lovely little shop, and they just happened to be having a meetup on the night that we were there. They have lots of lovely yarn lines that are either made from sheep raised in Canada or manufactured in Canada. There's even this lovely chunky Icelandic yarn from right here on PEI. Margaret is multi-talented, and not only does she knit, but she also weaves, and she actually designed a tartan that is registered with the Scottish Register of Tartans. Thanks so much for exploring PEI with us. If you enjoyed this one, I think you'll enjoy our other adventures in Canada. You'll find those in the playlist down below. See you in the next one.